Welcome back to our podcast. As always, we are interviewing our experts from AI IXX. Today, my guest is Dmytro Levin. He's Ukrainian, but in the moment he's living in Barcelona. And I must say he's already a dinosaur when it comes to artificial intelligence, because he started much long before ChatGPT with experience in AI. So welcome to our podcast, Dmytro. Please give us some introduction words about yourself.
Thank you very much, Mark, for having me here, and happy to be here. Hi, everyone
Hi.
who is listening, who is watching. My name is Dmytro Levin. I am I might say the dinosaur of AI. I'm in AI, in practical AI, from discovery to implementation to AI architecture and research and development for past almost 10 years already.
Oh.
I had it development and implementation of different AI technologies on the multiple use cases, starting with iron and steel facilities, machining building facilities for biggest banks in the world, and right now for a couple of insurance companies, biggest edutech players and pharmaceutical companies. So I am definitely here to tell you more about how it looks from the other side of AI, all the things that is how it can bring us joy and utility, and when we should use the rule-based systems better. But let's speak about it a bit later. Thank you, Mark.
But that's a huge variety of different companies you've already worked on the AI field. So if you talk, for example, about, you said about steel factories or machine building companies, what exactly did you do there with artificial intelligence?
Wonderful question. As an example, for the iron and steel companies, like every AI project starts with the two things. First of all, identify the problem that is there. Second is identify data that is there related to this problem anyhow. So for iron and steel facilities, the main problem was the productivity and all the things related to the usage of the components in the chemistry, as well as quality. So like I love the iron and steel industrial facilities, but they are not the the newest thing in the world. That's why area of
No, that's why
optimization.
you would never think of AI when you talk about this industry.
Yeah, no, I'm always thinking about the AI when I'm imagining, the iron and steel facility, because you start with the optimization of the chemistry of ferroalloys, as an example. Like
Yeah.
you as the operator, when you do the steel cooking process, you have your normas. Like you have to put, let's say, one of the ferroalloys has to be like from 9 to 12%. When you're an engineer, you're always trying to target the highest level, like 12%. Why? Because you have to, to mitigate risks. When you AI, you're targeting the lowest amount, the lowest barrier. And this 3% of optimization brings for the steel making companies like enormous economical effect. It's just one use case. I'm not talking right now about the defects identification, predictive maintenance, implementation of computer vision on the different production processes, just to verify not only the whole like quality, etc., but also the improvement of the production output. As an example, there is one interesting part of the iron and steel facilities when you have the steel sheet coming out of the, let's say, boiler, and it
Yeah.
transforms into like the slate. I'm not sure how it will be in English, I'm sorry, but like big steel brick, and you have to cut tongues and tails of the steel brick to eliminate defects. They are usually, in the beginning and in the end. That's why like tongue and tail. And usually how it happened, this is the person but has enormous experience, 40 years just cutting these, steel sheets. And they, with their eyes, trying to identify the moment when to press this button to with scissors, cut off the part with the defects. With help of AI, you include the computer vision that not only helps to cut off this tongue and tail in the moment when it's the best one, like even saving 2 to 3 centimeters of the steel sheet, it's a huge amount of money again.
Huge. Yes. Yes.
But also identifying which defects are of the given steel sheet and map it with the traceability of the whole production process, started from the chemistry and proceeding on the all production stages. So just like one example how it can be done in the iron and steel facilities. I'm not sure that it will
Amazing.
be in use for our for regular businesses, but the idea behind it, it's very common for any big business. Find the process, find the data, understand the problem, test, and start to earn money with AI.
Amazing. How many years is this ago that you implemented this in the steel factory?
It was 2020, so it was almost, we started the project already 4 years ago.
Amazing. And you talked about other industries before, like, for example, banking. What are you doing in banking?
Yeah, for banks, I was the product manager in AI, leading the team of data scientists where we created graph neural networks to identify patterns for anti-money laundering processes for biggest players on the financial market in the world. It's like there are two things in basically in anti-money laundering activities in banks is transactional screening, main areas, transactional screening and transactional monitoring. Also, we can tell about KYC, PEP identification, etc. But like this is, two things. When you're sending the money, is this transactional screening in the moment when it's happening, and transactional monitoring is you have as the bank, as financial institution, you have to verify that all these transactions are not related to some illegal activities. So this is transactional monitoring. For transactional screening, we used the first transformers. Even before the GPT arrived, we were working with BERT transformer, identifying with name entity recognition, it calls technology that helps to understand what is is Warsaw in the given document related to city in Poland or in USA. Or maybe it's the name of some person who just has the name Warsaw. It's like can be different cases, and each of these cases impacts the probability of being, let's say, red flagged on the transactional screening. It's the moment when you are sending the money and you get like, oh no, we cannot let your transaction go. So this is like the moment when the AI helps all of the risk related processes works faster, like skyrocketing this process basically. And for the transactional monitoring, we've built the graphs, and based on the graphs neural networks that helped to identify, like what is the graph basically. You can imagine it as the spider web. When you see like the node itself, like the circle, the sphere, with the connections from it, and in the multi-layered environment. So as an example, me as the node can be, name is Dima, originally from Kiev, Ukraine, worked at company 1, company 2, company 3, etc. So it's my metadata. When we are comparing as the artificial intelligence, we are trying to identify some patterns within the big data sets. Is always problem to understand what are the main pattern if data is unstructured or semi-structured. And the best way to structure the data known for humans are graphs right now, because we can see easily, not only as an example, if you're trying to find in the big relation database with the 10,000 rows, we want to find is row 9083 related to row number 3. Yeah, we have to, let's say, do a big computational investment from our end, even to scroll up, let's say, yes, the human. But in the same time, if we see as the node, the entity number 3 and entity 9083, if they are already connected, you can see it even visually. It's much easier even to jump faster, to the given entity that you want to look at. So these are like some of the cases that we've built. Also cool stuff for the big players on the market related to the generation, like working with sensitive data, with like for banks, for medical companies. Very important and crucial thing is to train AI, to use AI models. It's very crucial to have the data that you can work with. And according to the model risk management processes and all the risks around the AI, banks and like all the sensitive data cannot be used. Like if I trained my model on, let's say, your database of your customers with the good, let's say, prompt engineering on like other techniques, I can extract the sensitive data. That's why it's forbidden, and model can hallucinate with sensitive data sometimes, even like not in generative AI and in the traditional AI. That's why to overcome this process, there is the good technique that calls like synthetic data sets creation. And for this, there is available the other process, the other model that called GAN. You can imagine it in the next way. You can have two players. One player is generator, other is verifier, like gatekeeper, let's say. So the generator has the real data, the back with real data, and the back with synthetic data. So every time when this player that attacks, let's say the generative one, uh, captures the entity, the thing from the synthetic data set, and throws it to the other who is the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper should, put it back and say, okay, I know that this is the real data or this is the synthetic one. The game stops when the generator can generate the data that will be the same as the real one for the other model that do the verification, the classification task itself. So this is also one of the interesting techniques that is used in the like in banks as an
Very
example,
interesting.
train large number of models.
Amazing. So you're really deep in a lot of different use cases when it comes to the industry. What I don't understand, because you are talking about examples which are already 4 years ago. According to my research, a lot of companies, less than or more than 70%, are not using artificial intelligence yet. Why do you think this is the case that so few companies are really implementing AI? And you are giving examples which are really amazing and very deep in the details. Why are so few companies using those use cases?
Wonderful question, Mark. Thank you for it. In my experience, like before, let's say we can split AI into two groups. One is the traditional AI, let's say, the other is
Yes.
generative AI. The problem with the traditional AI, before GPT, let's say, is that you need a lot of structured data, a lot of involvement from the stakeholders from the company, to let it, a lot of preparation, test, etc. So just to launch, you
And
cannot just come
I
to
think
the
also I think also technical knowledge, because what you are describing, it's not easy. So you need to have a lot of understanding about this too. Yeah.
For sure. And then can you imagine coming to the just simple industrial facility somewhere in the east part of Ukraine, and then on the in this industrial facility you say, okay, we've built here a computer vision based technique that will help to cut better the steel sheets, and the only thing that you will hear it is like, why are you taking my job?
Yeah.
So it's like people are always afraid of AI, and the hardest thing with any type of digital transformation is to fight against the business as usual from the one hand, from the other hand, to fight against the fear and biases related to AI.
Mm, mm.
Right
So how do,
now,
yeah, please you.
sorry, Mark. Right now, with the generative AI, when generative AI appeared, let's say to start using AI for the company, for the let's say customer support optimization, sales optimization, marketing, legal part, whatever. Uh, to make it happen inside your company, you just need to go, as an example, to chat OpenAI and try to prompt a bit your task with the using different number of rules, or just go to already prepared tools for you that are like thousand of on market to try it, to implement it. Still you will again face the problems with the business as usual, and people don't want to implement the things into the business itself, because
Exactly.
it's like right now when we have some employees in some companies that are far away from technologies, let's say. They do not want to use, I know, CRM systems or whatever. It's better for them to type something in Excel and okay, how to export it into PDF level of the technical knowledge.
So how do you convince the people in the company to implement those tools, to work with those tools, to really go the change? If you managed this 4 years ago in a steel factory in eastern Ukraine, how can you convince companies to use general AI system? What is your advice? How can companies react on that?
So the language that business understands all over the world is the language of money. When you show the the economic effect, and you uh, like really help the employees to save their time while
Mm,
making business more profitable by having less expenses or making more revenue, like unlocking more revenue streams, is when the business comes to you and say, okay, I want it. So the easiest thing right now, in from the perspective of generative AI and implementation on the businesses, is that when I'm showing to, let's say, a customer support specialist that, hey guys, this is like your workflow right now looks like this. You just open the email from sales, take the like copy the whole email, put it into the tool, press send, bam. You have the checklist that you have to verify with your customer, that you have to walk through with your customers, the customer success
mm,
specialist.
mm,
This is the agenda for your first call. This is the support email that you have to send with the help of, like, with this checklist and invitation to the call, when you will follow the agenda. And after the call, you just take the transcript of this call, put it again in the same chat, in the same tool, press launch, bam, you already have the comparison, what you have covered, what not, and the checklist with the next action points for your customer that you worked with. And
yeah.
it's like enabling people doing better and more by doing less. This is the thing that is, you don't need to convince them to
Mm,
to start to benefit from such things.
mm, mm. Okay, yeah, this is definitely the best way. I agree. If you look in the future, and we saw all this development of generative AI in the last 1.5 years, how do you think this will continue? If you look ahead 3, 5 years, where do you think companies will be standing? Do you think it will be widely used by companies at this time? What happens to companies which are not using AI? What is your prediction for the future?
Great question. So, firstly, what will be in next 5 years, what I can predict are two main trends. First of all, is that AI will become more and more task targeted. The same
Hmm.
as during the Industrial Revolution, we, as the humanity, transformed from the manufacturing facilities when you're doing all the things as you're crafting almost
Hmm.
the tool by yourself in a long time. Afterwards, during the Industrial Revolution, you have the specified person that only does the one task per second. This is the thing that will happen within AI, the agentic flows that is like appearing everywhere right now, and the best trend, I think, is that what's happening when you're teaching the AI, the general AI with the general knowledge, to make one given task as good as possible. You combine them into the flow and you let them handle all the big process within the AI power, and with very big quality. So the agentic flows with the task specialized agents for each given task, A, and B, the models that will be appear and are appearing already on the market will be more and more fine-tuned for the company-specific area. What I
Mm-hmm.
mean by this, when we are building something for banks right now, the problem is that we are using, or let's say, anyway, yeah, we have to use for some big, good reasoning model like GPT-4 or whatever, then fine tune some Llama or Mistral or whatever to be able to use this model in the intranet.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, this model that is being, as the digital employee, let's say you're putting the model, you put the model, fine-tuned model into the intranet, and it improves over the time on your examples, on your data. And for sure, like it's like with the humans, if I transfer from one industry to another, it's much easier for me to get, to be onboarded on the processes. The same works with the fine-tuned model in the given thing. If you have as the bank right now, if you are in the first wave of the companies who are building their own fine-tuned model for your own business case, later on you can make this model as your revenue stream by outsourcing, let's say, the work of this model for the similar companies, for your current competitors. You can become easily a service company, with this case, with the professional service, with the fine-tuned AI. And the second thing is, if you are not using AI right now, I will not say that something bad will happen. I see, or even in Spain, in Europe, there are a lot of businesses who are not having the websites. So there will be still companies, that can live good. But the big businesses, I haven't
Uh,
seen any big company that doesn't have the
a website.
site, yeah, for now. It's almost 24 years from the dot-com boom.
Okay. So you think it's a little bit difficult to survive without AI, but if you are clever, you can probably manage.
Yeah, for sure, as always. You can survive anything, I might tell you.
Can you say a few words about your course? Because you are having a course, or you will have a course on AIX. Can you say a few words about this course? Who is the audience for this course, and what are we going to learn in your course?
Great, thank you for this question. This course is targeted for the business owners and the
Hmm.
employees of companies who wants to improve their business operations using the practical generative AI. On this course, I will not only explain in details multiple use cases, how and when AI can be used, but also how to overcome different barriers from the business perspective internally, as the business leader, or even as the just an employee who wants to improve the processes inside the company, as well as I will show the practical examples of what exact prompts you need to use for the given case, how to build your agentic pipeline for your given set of tasks, as an example with the customer success that I highlighted previously. And I even will help each of my students who will attend the course to create their own prompt
Hmm.
that they can use for their operations.
Hmm.
Moreover, after this course, I'm also right now preparing the cheat sheets, so some deliverables that you can, print and put it on
Yes.
your desk, and whenever you have the problem or you want to return to something, you just have to look and find it because like from one perspective, I really into digital things. From other perspective, it's always cool to have something that you can touch. Yeah.
Mm. Fantastic, fantastic. How is it for you personally? Because you have been in AI for so many years already. You have all these great examples from the business world. How is it the private Dima? Are you using AI all over your private life? What are the, let's say, the 1-2 use cases that probably not everyone is using when it comes to your private life and, for example, ChatGPT or any other tool that anyone can download and use? What is your advice there, or your great example?
Thank you for the great question, Mark, as always. So the my personal use of AI is next. For any task that I have in my life, I'm trying to build an agent
Uh-huh.
that can make this task, because it's much easier in my head to spend, let's say, 1 or 2 or 3 hours building an agent and then polish it, to do the repetitive tasks when it is possible, rather than doing the task itself each and every time from scratch. So I'm having, I don't know how many, I think
A
50
lot of
agents.
agents.
50 agents for any kind of things that you can imagine. And moreover, it's not only about the when it goes to the AI usage, I'm not only talking about the large language models itself, as the from generative AI perspective, but I'm also a big fan of the companies like Limitless, who are transforming the whole idea of how external memory can be used for our business life. Google this company. This is awesome.
Mm.
I also a big fan of the Gamma.app as the service that helps to
Mm.
transform the whole, let's go away from these PPTs one and forever to the something beautiful that any person can create out of their
Mm.
head. I also I have a small son. He is 3 years old, and we love with him to create some songs. Just on
Mm.
the, I
Yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
just hanging around and singing something. And afterwards, I can just in the evening, I can with the generative AI create the song like 3 minutes. The very good song as it was created by some, I don't know, popular group just for us,
Uh,
to have this personalized experience of building things around myself with my own hands. I know that some people who are against the AI and say that it's not me who is doing, but if you know what prompt engineering is and how AI model works, I will tell it in my course. You will understand why everything that why AI is like the calculator for the mathematician, rather
mm.
than the super intelligent that will take over the world.
Uh, I think that's a very good final word. Dima, it was really, really great talking to you. I can continue talking with you for hours, and I think we should in the future, because this was definitely not our last podcast. First of all, thank you very much for being an expert on AIX. So everyone who is watching this video, everyone who is on AIX, you can also book Dima. You can watch his courses, and yeah, he's a really great expert on our platform. Thank you very much for your time, Dima, and see you very, very soon.
Thank you very much for having me here. It was the pleasure, and I'm looking forward to our other conversations to tell more use cases for AI in our life. Have a great day.
Perfect. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Дуже дякую.
Дякую вам, Марк.